Hey guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Dr. Lerner. I have an appointment with him in 2 more weeks. Pretty excited. He's in Michigan. I've never seen a chronic fatigue specialist. So 15 years. So this will be my first. Pretty excited though, because he's done a lot of research. I watched his videos. He takes his time talking. He seems like such a nice guy and such a smart doctor and a really caring one, which is like a rare combo to do research and still be, have a human, be good with human interaction. Okay, so one thing I thought was really interesting was his energy scale, EIPS. I'm about a 5 on that. It includes naps. Now, I find naps for me are really detrimental. It screws up my sleep. If I'm actually sleeping throughout the day, it screws up my sleep so badly. So for me personally, I do not nap. I will rest. I will lay down. If I get less than 8 hours of sleep, I might take a nap um, and be okay. Usually, if I'm napping, it's really bad, and I can usually still fall asleep at the same time. But for me, I had to learn how not to nap and how to sleep longer throughout the night. And I trained my body to do that, and it's worked out perfectly for me. So, although most of his numbers on the scale include napping, I don't consider myself to be taking naps on the daily. I do rest daily quite often. Oh, the sun is going down. Yeah, but I don't, you know, like now, I'm resting. I wouldn't call this napping. Um, so yeah, I'm about a 5 on that scale then, if you're considering napping resting. Anyway, 5 is like working full time, but not having a social life because of it. Which is basically exactly my life. It's like I can work, but I can't have a social life, and I can have a social life, but then I can't have a full time job. Um, so there's that. But it's still pretty high. It's still higher than it used to be. High school was really bad. It was probably like a 3 on that. I just couldn't do like anything. I had to stop going to high school. Anyway, yeah, he's the first doctor that has really nailed the symptoms, and he's even found a test. I don't know if I should even try to talk about it because it's really technical and I don't really understand it. But there's something about the glycoprotein inside your cells and the tegument. There's teguments in between them. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Clearly, I have no idea. But he's found a test that certain things that are off in chronic fatigue patients that aren't off in normal people. So normal, healthy, I should say, in healthy subjects. So he basically has nailed the test, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So I cannot wait to see him. And he's in Michigan, and I'm in New Jersey. So that's what's in Michigan besides coldness? Probably offending people. Well, you got Dr. Lerner, so you got something going on for you. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm worried about the cold. It makes me sicker, but maybe that's good. Maybe I need to be sicker so he can see it. I heard he does a heart rate monitor. I'm hoping he doesn't need me to be off caffeine for that. He probably does. And usually they make you take 3 days to be off caffeine. I cannot go 3 days without caffeine. I won't be able to function. I won't be able to even talk to him like normally, thinking clearly. I can't go 3 days without caffeine. I can, but it will be like so rough. And doing anything new without energy, without that extra energy, is just really, really difficult. So I don't know. We'll see. What else? He has some videos where he shows patients and they talk about the scale. The scale is really helpful. To me, it's really helpful because when I talk about chronic fatigue and I see some of these other patients, I'm like, oh, I'm not that bad. But when I see a healthy person at my age, 31, I'm like, okay, I'm not that good. I can't, wake up. I can't work for a shift. I can't go out with my friends. I'm not at that level. But I am better than other people with chronic fatigue. So I don't want to diminish people with lower numbers by saying, oh yeah, we're all the same. We all have chronic fatigue. I know how you feel, because I don't think I do. I'm above those numbers at this point. But again, I'm not, a 10 on the EIPS scale. So it's very important that I say that, because I don't want people watching these videos, normal people watching these videos, saying like, well, chronic fatigue doesn't sound that bad. Look at her. She's doing stuff. She's got a job, blah, blah. But, no, I'm a 5 out of 10. So there are people at 1, 2, 3, even 3 was terrible. 3 was like, I don't know how people do 1. I don't know. Bless their soul, because I could not handle that. Anyway, he's done biopsy of the heart tissue in chronic fatigue patients. He's done so much research that I haven't even read about. And he's these videos up where he talks about it. And there's so much difference between the heart tissue of a normal person and the heart tissue of a chronic fatigue patient. And he believes there's a few things that cause it. My bed just broke again. It's cytomegalovirus, or HPV-6, herpes, or Epstein-Barr. Now, he does go into Lyme, Bartonella, babesiosis. He does go into those things. So, he does check for them, which is pretty awesome. And he's aware that the tests are awful for Lyme and Bartonella and all, tick-borne diseases. The tests are terrible for them. So, it's good that he knows that. Because some doctors will be like, well, we did 1 Lyme test and you're good. You don't have Lyme. And, patients have Lyme and they half their side of their face goes, limp and paralyzed, and they just have a lot of issues. And, doctors are like waiting on this test to show something, and it's like, just treat. It's antibiotics, just treat it. But anyway, the IGenex test is pretty good for Lyme. If you're wondering about Lyme, in 2009, I was tested with Western blot, the regular Western blot, and they're like, you don't have Lyme, you don't have Lyme. And then 2012, I want to say, or 11, 2000 something. I think it was 12. I got tested again with the IGenex test, which is the expanded band test. And they were like, according to this, you have Lyme. So they tried to treat me for Lyme. It didn't do much. But, they did find I was missing the hormone that a lot of patients with Lyme were missing. So it seems like whatever I had isn't active, or at least not treatable. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of my symptoms are more chronic fatigue than they ever were for Lyme. So hopefully this guy can help me. I mean, when I called, I asked if they did the 6-month protocol on Valsite, which is the antiviral, and they said yes. So I was like, oh, okay, thank God. I'm just hoping that they lump me in with chronic fatigue because I know that I'm only a 5 on that scale, but it's been so long. I hope it still shows up. But we'll see. Anyway, he seems like a really nice guy. He talks to his patients and he recorded it and it was so staged. He's like, "How do you feel today?" But he doesn't really care. He even talks about it. He's like, "There's nowhere for these patients to go." There's Dr. Montoya or something? Montoya, I think. He is in California. And I called him for an appointment, and they were like 6 months. And I was like, I could just go to Thailand and take the drug myself in 6 months. But then when I called this guy and he told me 3 weeks, I was like, alright, maybe I won't try to do this myself. So, 2 more weeks, and I get to see Dr. Lerner, and I'm excited. Should vlog about it. And maybe I will. If I'm not wiped out from the testing, the driving, and the airport. It's another thing. Traveling is so impossible. I like to travel because I like to be there. And I like to sleep there. And I once I settle in, I'm good. I like to travel. But just getting there and doing all this, I need a few weeks of recovery from just traveling in order to enjoy wherever I am. So vacations to me are not fun if I have to be in an airplane for 7 hours. Because then you gotta get to the airport. And you gotta, do all these things. And then you gotta get to where you're going once you get there. So 7 hours of traveling is it ruins my whole day. Anyway, but, a 4-hour airplane flight isn't that bad. I can do that. That's cool. But, as long as I don't have to wake up early or go to bed late, anything that screws up my sleep is meh. So traveling for us chronic fatigue patients, I say save your money, get a direct flight. Do not even mess around with this other crap because it is not worth it. If it ruins any amount of your sleep, just get it done, son. Not worth it. What else? Any other tips for traveling? Don't pick flights that will screw up your sleep. I mean, that's my number one thing. If you know the time that you need to go to bed every night, don't pick flights around. Base your itinerary around sleep. Because sleep will be your number one friend during all of this. Sleep and naps. Yes, naps. Lots of naps. I don't know. That's all I got for today. Maybe if you guys are interested, maybe I'll find out the other tricks I've been using for traveling that I've forgotten about. Definitely carry empty water bottles around because you need to stay hydrated. But in other countries, you usually can't drink the tap water. So, I mean, I don't know. If you guys are interested, I'll make a video. But other than that, maybe I'll just keep vlogging and tell you more about Dr. Lerner. So much I'm learning about Dr. Lerner. Okay. Corny day is over. Goodbye.